Hello, hello, hello. How you all doing? How's your day going so far? Good, good, good. Thank you so much for coming to my session. When you could have gone to, how many other concurrent sessions are taking place? Three? And you chose this one? Oh my God. That's a lot of pressure. You're a great looking crowd. Awesome. I'm excited. Thank you. And thank you for that wonderful introduction. I am indeed the president of Right Chord Leadership. And Jacqueline gave the fancy introduction, but what I like to say is I help leaders, teams, and organizations find their groove, get in rhythm, and work in harmony. And the reason why I say that is because in addition to being a consultant and a trainer and an educator, I'm also a professional musician. And that's me in action here. Right, so I've been playing music since I was a wee lad. Any musicians in the room? Anybody play? What do you play way in the back?
Guitar and ukulele.
Very nice. Cool. How about yourself? Drums. Drums. Great, great. So people say, why right chord leadership? Help me understand that. So how many of you know what this is? It's a chord, right? Someone said a slide. Yes, I know. I know it's a slide, right? So the metaphor that I like to use is, obviously, chords can be played in harmony, right? And they can be played in a way that people just go, ugh. Aren't people the same way, right? The people you work with at work, when you're working collaboratively, productively, with people you like, getting meaningful work done, the chord, if you will, is harmonious. And when that's not happening, people go, ooh, okay? So, that's a little bit about me. Take a look at this slide here. Can you make that out? Don't you wish that book existed, right? How many of you feel that way sometimes? That you just wish that darn book existed? Right? And you all know better than most being in HR, right? You hear all the things that go on. Well, unfortunately, I checked Amazon and that book doesn't exist. So, we need to peel the onion back a little deeper, okay? So we're going to talk about culture. No, not that culture, sorry. That's not what I meant. You're with me? All right. This kind of culture, right? The people that you work with. And that's an area that I find endlessly fascinating. I've done a lot of work with cultures, creating innovative, creative cultures, and I sound familiar, right? How many of you just saw Eric upstairs? Right? So I was in the back drinking my coffee going, yeah, we're sort of on the same wavelength, right? But he came up with the unthink thing, which is pretty cool. So why does culture matter? Why does culture matter? And again, culture is one of those buzzwords you hear a lot about, but we all know what it is, but why is the nature or the essence of the culture at your organization, why is that even important? Why are we talking about that? Why, if you Google organizational culture, you'll get thousands and thousands of articles, books. Why does it matter? Not a rhetorical question. Yes, thank you.
Your employees are more productive.
Your employees are more productive if what?
If it's a good culture.
How would you define good culture?
They're happy.
Okay, they enjoy their work. They feel like they're contributing something meaningful, right? They work with people they enjoy. Yeah.
They're engaged.
They're engaged, right? We're going to talk a little bit about that, right? Okay. So, culture, when you have a strong organizational culture where people are engaged, they come to work feeling like they're making a meaningful contribution, all kinds of wonderful things happen. Innovative and creative thinking, productivity goes up, trust and rapport goes up, energy and enthusiasm, customer service, hey, that's a good thing. Right? Customer service elevates. I just was upstairs in the lobby and there was a young mother with her kids and said to the woman behind the desk there, thank you so much, that was incredibly helpful. I just happened to hear that. And I was tempted to go over to the person behind the front desk and say, what did you do that led to such a lovely sentiment? But I didn't have time. But maybe later. So customer service goes up, increases retention while decreasing turnover. How many of you would like that to happen in your organizations, right? Yeah, so culture matters. And at this point in my career, I can pretty much walk into an organization and tell within the first few seconds what kind of culture they have, okay? It's really, really critical. Now, I blew my entire marketing budget on this animated slide here. Right? That literally took me 2 hours to do. So I hope you appreciate it. When strategy, leadership, and people align, wonderful things happen. Okay? So the question is, How do you make that happen? How do you align organizational strategy with what your leaders are doing and what your people are doing to create a truly productive, collaborative, engaged workforce? And that's why you're here in this room. We're going to talk a little bit about that. Unfortunately, there is no magic formula. Right? When I teach, my students, many of them want, just give me the answer. Unfortunately, when you're dealing with people, there's no answer in the back of the teacher's edition. Right? It's kind of we'll all make some mistakes sometimes, okay? But I'm going to share with you some things that I've come across in my, 15 years of doing this, that I think, given the short amount of time I have with all of you, are the absolute key concepts and principles I want to share with you to create an engaged, collaborative, productive, high-performance culture. And if you caught me last night, how many of you were here last night? Right? I said that I truly believe HR is in a preeminent position to make this stuff happen. Because you are, I believe, are the heartbeat of any organization. You touch the people there. And so I challenge you to take what I'm about to share with you and find ways to incorporate it into your own work. Let's take a look real quickly at the kind of workers many of us are dealing with, okay? So we have to get a lay of the land first. You know this stuff, right? Right? This is one of those, Toto, we're not in Kansas anymore moments, right? Young folks, Generation Y, millennials, we're hearing a lot about them. They want challenging work. They want flexibility. They want to work anywhere, you know? And you've seen that. You walk into any Starbucks and everybody's, right? The notion of you come to work, you sit in a queue for 8 hours, you clock out and do it again the next day. Changing, right? They want to feel empowered. They want to feel important. They want to feel a part of the business of the organization. They don't want to be marginalized. Okay? They feel that their voice matters. And if that doesn't happen, what happens? They check out. They check out. We don't want them to check out. As a professional musician, there's a concept in jazz, and I play the sax, so I play pop and jazz and things, but primarily jazz. And it holds true for any musical band or unit that you might see, but particularly in jazz. When a jazz band is just in the groove, the drummer's rocking out, right, bass player, and the sax player, the guitar player, the pianist is doing their thing, and you sit back and go, wow, they're just crushing. You ever hear that expression before? Right? You might call it, they're just rocking it. I like to say they're just crushing it, right? So I thought about, okay, what do organizational cultures that are crushing it, what do they do, right? What do they do? So let's open the hood a little bit on that and check it out. Well, people get paid a lot, right? You throw a lot of money at people and people are automatically engaged and doing their best work. And no? Is that, what do you mean no? I thought money made the world go round. Can someone help me? I thought you don't just throw money at people and great work magically emerges? Why not? Oh, I see. It only works till they get used to it, right? True or false? Money is a motivator. In some cases, yeah. In some cases, right? If you work on Wall Street or something, not to stereotype those folks, but they're definitely driven by the profit motive, right? But research is very clear on this, as this next. Before we go to that here. Y'all see that, right? Okay. This is a very important slide, right, from John Katzenbach and The Economist. So those who rely on money as their sole or primary motivator are on perilous terrain, particularly if they ignore other more powerful and emotional sources of human motivation. So I've heard it stated that you need to pay people enough to take money off the table as something that they're constantly thinking about. Pay them enough money for them to go, I feel like I'm being paid equitably, now let me loose to do amazing work and great work. Okay? So as these authors say, money is part of the formula, but it's certainly not the whole deal. Let's take a look at what I call the 3 Ps. Because I learned early on that if I give you a ton of information in 60 minutes or so, you won't remember it. But I think you'll remember the 3 Ps. Okay? Cultures that are crushing it, in all the research and literature and my own experience as a consultant, they all do the 3 Ps. Purpose, progress, and passion. Purpose, progress, and passion, 3 Ps. Let's take a look at what that means. And as we go through the morning, I'm going to stop periodically to give you an opportunity to just digest the concept with the person next to you. Think about, how does this apply to my own workplace? Let's take a little look at purpose first here. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, is this any way to go through one's career? Do you know people who are going through their career? Right? Pretty sad, isn't it? You don't want to look back in 10, 20, 30 years and go, so what do we do about it? I think it begins with having an incredibly strong sense of purpose. But before we talk about purpose, I want to talk about 3 other concepts that you're probably more familiar with. Mission, vision, and values. Yes? Anybody not familiar with those 3 concepts? Mission, vision, and values. Let's take a look at this mission statement. To be the leading distributor of engines, power equipment, parts, and accessories in the Midwest by providing exceptional customer service and quality products at fair prices. Anybody getting up at the crack of dawn and running to work to, no one's fired up, inspired by that mission statement? Okay. How about this vision statement? We all have vision statements. We gotta have a vision statement! Here's a vision statement. Okay, my favorite is the last line. To continuously achieve a return on invested capital of at least 10 points higher than the cost of capital. How's that for a vision? Anybody getting up at the crack of dawn running to work? No. Here are some values. Hopefully they're not your own company. I mean, they're good values, but here's the problem, right? Respect. In all of our relationships, we act with honesty and fairness. We listen. Good for you. I mean, right? Accountability. We do what we say we're going to do. Anybody fired up, inspired by these values? Anybody? This is the inherent problem of mission, vision, and values as far as creating a palpable sense of purpose. And I think it's summed up nicely in this cartoon here. Guided by a heartfelt adjective, focus on cliche, another cliche, and yet another cliche. We will strive to, long-winded phrase, delivering big aspirational word to our vague group. Quality, and we've already used that. Right? Now, before I get in trouble here, I am a proponent of mission, visions, and values. I think they're important, but in the work I do, I try to convey to my clients that what really is important is this notion of purpose. Okay? And I have become Captain Purpose, ridding the world of lame, uninspiring missions, visions, and values, one team, one department, one organization at a time. I am on a crusade. Now, what is the difference? Purpose. Purpose touches the head and the heart. It answers one very fundamental question, which is what? Any ideas?
Why we're here.
Thank you. You looked ahead in the manual, didn't you? What on earth are we here for? I work with a lot of nurses at some of the area hospitals, and I have to help them sometimes re-engage with their purpose. And I'll ask them, how many of you got into nursing for the fame, wealth, and fortune? Gets a laugh, right? And I go, why did you get into nursing? It's a tough job. It's a hard job. You have patients and patients' families and doctors and administrators and insurance companies to deal with. You all have to touch things I wouldn't dare touch, right? And it takes a few minutes, but eventually we get back to that essence. And what is it? To help sick people get better, right? But look at all the underbrush we have to cut through to get back to that. And I say, I challenge you, if you've lost connection with your purpose because of all the bureaucracy and the red tape and the nonsense